Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to produce a report like this one we're looking at here. This is a time report on the John Roberts file. Now this report is showing us an itemized report of everything that was done on the file, the amount of time it took and the charge. If I zoom in a little bit, it might make it a bit easier to see. So an itemized list of all the work done, the person who did it, the date, and then the time and the charge. And if we zoom back out and we go to the end of it, this is a 3-page report. We can see the total amount of time and the total amount of charge, or the total amount of money to be charged. Now you'll also notice that there are items in here that we haven't recorded time against. So we'll say this particular digital dictation initial consultation was 45 minutes, but we'll see this email, this letter, and this phone call, nobody recorded any time against it. So we'll show you how to deal with that afterwards, but I'm just showing you that this is the report that we will want to produce, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. I'll come out of it, come into the screen. So we're back to the main screen where we recorded the time earlier on. We go down to the reports button and we have a list of all our different kinds of reports. Now the one we're concerned with in this video is the time spent by case. You can also run it by user. For example, look at all the work that a particular person has done on a particular day, or a particular fee earner has done in the past month. But for this video I'm going to show you how to break down the time just for a particular file, and the one we're working on is the John Roberts file. So on the right hand side we say we just want the John Roberts file. So I put a filter on ROB010, the John Roberts file, and I've set the filter here. And what that's going to do is when I run this report now, it's only going to show me the details for this particular file, this particular PIAB file. I click time spent by case. We can put other filters on the report. For example, we might only want to see the last 6 months, or we might only want to see the specific time entries that I mentioned before. Most of the time though, we'll just want to see everything. We click all dates, we'll click continue. I'm going to skip past this screen, I'll come back to this in a minute. We click continue, and it's as simple as that. All we need to do is click on reports, then click set the filter to the case we wanted, and then all we had to do was click the time spent, and we now have a report here. This is the same thing I just showed you a couple of minutes ago. Now what I want to stress in this video is that if it happens to be the case that you haven't recorded time against all these letters, or even if you haven't recorded time at all, if you haven't been using time recording on CORTBase at all, you can still run that report and it can still be of use to you. So I'm going to show you again. We click on the reports button, we go to the individual case that we want, and we click time spent. Now this screen before we do it can be of enormous help if you haven't been recording time on CORTBase already. What this is showing us on the left hand side is there is a number of items of work done by the person John Sample, and he has changed on the system, changed his hourly rate a number of times. So at the beginning of the file he might have done a few letters or dictations or consultations, and his rate would have been down as $3.50. Now as the case went on, his rate might have changed and it has recorded those entries at that rate. Now what we can do is we can change all that. So you might maybe want to say we'll put them all in at $2.50. And so what we would do by that is go 250, 250. And we can see there as well, because this is 0, that means that there has been time that John recorded and didn't record any time against it, or recorded 0 time against it. So if we set them all to 250, everything that John Sample has done now when we produce a report will be charged at that rate. And then in the same way you can do that with your other users. Here we can see that Joan has a €100 an hour rate, but she also has some items in marked at 0, so we might change that to 100 just for consistency's sake. Now also on the right hand side, what this is telling us is that are there Word documents, statute limitations reminders, scanned items, reminders, all with 0 minutes. So these might have been items that we didn't record any time against. So let's say for every Word document we want to put 10 minutes on it. We change this to 10 minutes. And then scanned items we might want to put 5 minutes against. So if you have never used CORTBase for any time recording at all, you can go through here, all this will be set to 0, and you simply put 10, 5 and maybe 5 minutes on every phone call, and this is still going to give you a good picture of the amount of time that was spent on the file, regardless of whether you had recorded the time at the beginning or not. So these little tick buttons down the bottom, what they will do is they can permanently change all these rates if we want to do that. If we untick these, it won't do it permanently, it'll just do it for this instance. So if I click continue, we have again the same report is going to pop up now. And it'll be the same thing, except all those bits, all those letters that had 0 recorded against them now have 10 minutes. And if we move to the end, we can see that the time spent on the file is has increased significantly. I'll zoom in there so it's easier to see. The time has increased and the resulting charge has increased. So the great benefit of that is that if you haven't recorded any time, or if there's items that you have just forgotten to record time on, you can go back and get the system to do it automatically for you. So in the next video I'm then going to show you the billing module and how we go and we can produce a bill from all our time recording.